Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Mist. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. Okay, Abba, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
Great. What's your name again, sir?
Aussie Agu.
Okay, and are you guys enjoying yourself in Toronto?
Yes, it's my second time around
Yeah.
here, and I'm falling in love with this city every moment of it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes,
It's great. So it gets better and better. It's like,
better and better, absolutely.
that's good stuff. So, how long have you wanted to make this movie?
Probably all my life,
Oh.
and I probably didn't even know that because I've been. For those who are not familiar with the Masquerade, a masquerade in Africa is a man dressed up in a costume that personifies an ancestral spirit. And I've always been fascinated with masquerade since I was a kid. You know, there would be masquerade festivals in my mom's village, and women and children weren't allowed to look at the masquerade, so I would just obsess over what these things were. And I got older and realized it's just some dude dressed up in a costume dancing around, and but that intrigued me even more, because that means we collectively as a society have chosen to believe that the moment this guy is dressed in this costume, he's elevated to the status of a supreme being, so that blew my mind away. So I've always surrounded myself around African mask in my house, and I was now inspired by the work of two French photographers who took photographs of masquerades that were so striking. The work of Charles Frieger, who did a series called The Wilder Man, which documented ancient pagan ceremonial costumes across Europe. And those costumes looked exactly like some of the African masquerades I saw. And it now also kind of reinforced my belief in Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious and all these ideas coming from one source, and also
You really dig deep into this, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, all my life, pretty much, I've been born to make this film.
You're like the professor character in the movie.
I'm like all the characters in the movie.
They're all a different expression.
Yes.
of your
So,
yeah.
so the professor is in waking life, I'm like the pseudo-intellectual version of the professor, but yeah, definitely, absolutely.
That's kind of cool. You're mentioning Yun and stuff. I was kind of thinking of like Martin Heidegger a little bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know who's that.
He's like an existentialist nihilist, but he was also a Nazi.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
his whole thing was he had a thing called Questions Concerning Technology, and he was talking about kind of like how urban life was separated as from rural life.
Yes.
And that was a big thing in this movie.
Absolutely.
So it's
yes.
kind of cool that these things sync up. And I'm not calling you a Nazi.
No, of course.
But Heidegger, he was like a philosopher kid. He just wanted to never mind. Okay, forget about all that.
No. Funny thing is, my next film has a little bit to do with Nazis.
Hey,
it's weird.
Well, you have to check out Heidegger, man.
I will.
He's a dude.
I will.
All right. So,
funny enough, I think. Wasn't Jung accused of being a Nazi? Even though he wasn't,
I don't know.
I think
No, I don't know
because he didn't call out the movement at that time. He didn't say anything about it.
Oh, really?
I think
that's kind of appeasing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Damn.
he wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know the story about all that. But do you believe that like urban life is like a problem? Like, are you like a mystic? Like, how much of a mystic are you?
I think to some. I mean, yes, it is, and it's. I mean, like everything, there are pros and cons, But I just find it interesting that when you look at a lot of wealthy, rich people who have profited off the machine and capitalism, whenever they make so much money, what do? They retreat to
their own lair, the Batcave.
Exactly, Batcave in some obscure country town, almost live like an agrarian lifestyle, which is what the protagonist Raymond champions, So definitely there is the machine has. We've reached a stage in society where man is becoming more mechanized. We're always on our phones, It's someone told me, "Oh, you're addicted to social media." I said, "No, I'm not. I can." But then one day I actually consciously tried to see how long I could do without, and I just
tough, huh?
couldn't. I would just impulsive, and I was repulsed by myself. I was like, "No, this is ridiculous." But yeah, that's where we are right now.
Can you tell me what the vibe he puts on the set? What's the atmosphere as an actor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's a treat of a director to work with.
No. Don't mention the N word.
I know, right? No, don't you dare.
Yeah.
No, it's because we hash out the ideas and we talk about it a lot before we actually start shooting. So you have a general huge playground to work in, and he actually lets me, he let all of us do a lot of creative contribution as well, because when he told me about my character, he gave me it was a very clear character, and then I had to flesh out a lot of it. But every time I brought my findings back to him, he was like, yeah, this is good. Oh, this is good too, because there was a time in the final scene where it blows up into like a big confrontation. In my research, I met a chief who had one of the walking sticks that had a blade inside of it. So I was like, if I borrowed the blade and the stick, and I said, what if during the fight he pulls out a blade from his walking stick? And I was like, that's great. But somehow on the day of shooting, I left. We couldn't find
But
it.
I also literally had
You had
the
one
walking
with the
stick.
blade.
Yeah, I
as
had
well.
two of them.
You
Yes,
see?
yes.
Exactly.
But I also wanted to do that scene, but I forgot to do
You
it
forgot
because
about it.
of
God.
time. Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he's great. He gives a lot of creative freedom, but with guidance as well.
Can you tell me about the composer of this fantastic music?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna film a little something, and I'll talk about it because the composer is my good friend. His
Okay.
name is Shehu, and let me just record this. Oh,
Sure.
you record? Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, this is fun.
yeah. So your question was the composer of
Yeah.
this film. His name is Shehu
Right.
Adams, and we grew up in Jos, and he's a genius. Like he
Really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave him the film, watch it, and like he came up with original music. He had done some music for Green White Green, which he just sent me a bunch of beats to pick from. But with this film, he created original music from scratch, and it's magical, man. Like the stuff he does. But I also licensed some songs from like Alejandro Jodorowsky's El Topo, which opens the film.
Yeah.
And
You definitely have a Jodorowsky vibe.
oh yeah,
yeah.
Jodorowsky. Like my nickname is Dodorowski, and Dodo means
Okay.
masquerade, and
Okay.
and Roski, obviously.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
Jodorowsky. So yeah. So shout out to Shehu.
Okay.
Yeah, who did the music of this film.
It's fantastic. It's kind of like that mystical, like breakbeat stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So also the dream sequences are very memorable in this film. Was that really prepared, or was that kind of like going with the flow on the set? How did you stage that?
It was a little bit of both. First of all, I had to do a recce for the location, and because Lagos is a very urban city that's congested, population of over 20 million people.
Okay.
Yes, and I needed to find an environment that wasn't that, and there's this place called the Lekki Conservation Center, which is originally what Lagos was supposed to look like before it turned into a city. So the Lagos state has preserved this place, the Lekki Conservation Center, and that's where we shot that scene. And the masquerades, some of them are real masquerades, initiated into this masquerade secret society, and we brought them in to perform. And then some are also just generic. I just kind of like hybrids that I made myself, including the Okoroshi. So a lot of, in fact, because of budget constraints, there were so many other things within that spirit sequence that we're supposed to film. But I'm the type of filmmaker who I like improvising, and I like opening room for actors and collaborators. Say, oh, what about if we do it this way? So
they're really cool scenes. It may be less is more, you know.
Yes.
You just get like a taste of the other world
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
It's like you know, when you see a monster or an alien, you can't show them too much.
Yes, exactly.
At a certain point, like,
you loses it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, okay, how long was this shoot, and was it difficult? Where did you focus most of your energy?
I focused most of my energy. Well, it was a month shoot with breaks in between, and I focused most of my energy on the actors, because if you see the cinematography, it's very minimalist. There isn't that much camera movement. We don't use a steady cam or a crane, you know. And I also kind of wanted to do an homage to old 90s Nollywood films that kind of frame pictures that way. It's in 4:3 aspect ratio, and the blocking is very basic and straightforward. Very minimalist approach. So I really focused, because I was like, okay, I'm making a film on Okoroshi, a guy in a costume. Is he going to talk? How does he move? If I miss that beat, if I miss it, the whole film could be ruined. It could be corny, you know. How, like, the costume, you know. So I really focused on the characters, you know. Like, really, I would have sleepless nights just thinking about how, till even the day before we started filming, I was trying to make the hands for the Okoroshi, and it just wasn't coming out right. So I decided to tell my makeup artist, why don't we just spray his hands black and have every human part that we see, from the neck to the feet, everything black. And that happened till the last minute. So that's what I really focused on. And I also, if you listen to the sound mix, it's not 100% there, because recording sound in Nigeria on location, recording sound anywhere, it's a nightmare. That's why people ADR. So I mean, with like the electricity problems we have in Nigeria, sometimes you have generators running all over the place. So that's also something I had to consider location wise, figuring out the right locations to film this picture. Yeah.
Okay, and was it hard getting money for this?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. In fact, I shout out to my sister, who's the executive producer, who has a 9-to-5. And she cleared her savings to make this picture, because we tried to get funding elsewhere, and because I'm not like a commercial filmmaker. It wasn't easy to convince financiers to put their money into the film. You know, I kind of tell people, you know, give me your money and keep your fingers crossed, and we'll probably do festivals and hopefully get international distribution. But nobody wants to take that risk, and it's understandable, you know.
No, I get it. It's a business. You got to keep the lights on and everything like that. But we also need, you know, some solid art as well, because, you know, not every movie can be a Marvel movie.
Absolutely.
And it's really strong stuff. So you're having fun here at TIFF. Thank you so much for your time. May you please tell me about what you have planned for the future?
So right now I'm currently in development for a TV series that I might possibly doing with the French cable network Canal Plus.
Oh wow!
We're in talks. Nothing has been set in stone, but it's in development. It's called Director, and it's a satire on the film industry back home, Nollywood.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and a
Nollywood TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
That is interesting.
With kind of think Nollywood. Think Entourage meets Curb Your Enthusiasm meets Nollywood. That's the whole plan.
That's a solid log line.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, have you had any fun celebrity interactions? Have there been great bump-ins?
I don't know. Maybe Renee would want to chip in on that.
One? Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell the story. So we were just at a junket the other day, and Jennifer Lopez walked by to do press, and I saw Abba, and I said, Jennifer Lopez is here. She's going to walk back here in a few minutes, so if you want to sit tight. Waited a few minutes, and my other colleague said, I think you're lying to me. She's not here. And, and she walked a foot away from us. She looked at the three of us and specifically looked at Abba and said hello to him.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. How did that feel?
So I've always been the type of person who's not like I feel too cool to run and
not
say hi
time,
to celebrities. But the moment she said hi to me, I felt like some kind of a shock wave of energy, you know.
Yeah.
And she looked so gorgeous, like more gorgeous. I think.
Was it in the gold dress and everything?
No, it was. She wore white.
A white.
Sort of,
Yeah.
It was a white.
It wasn't. I know the dress you're talking about. The one for the variety.
The
cover.
variety.
Yeah. No. It was a white.
My God.
Yeah, and she looked fabulous, you know. And yeah, that's. And then I saw William Dafoe as well.
Willem Dafoe.
He's like yay tall. I was like, yeah.
He's a creepy looking dude, but he's a good actor.
He's amazing. He's fascinating. Last Temptation of Christ.
He's a solid Jesus.
Oh, yes, he is a solid Jesus.
I love the New York accent. Tell me which one of you people have never sinned, you know. All right, we'll leave it at that.